midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for long, we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
We took a little quick break.
Took a quick little break.
Jason needed to go run around.
We got Patrick
Yes.
with us here. He's
got a story for us.
He does. He's got maybe a
every
couple.
now and then.
Yeah. All right.
So where are you from, Patrick?
Tellico Plains,
Tellico.
Oh, wow. Okay.
7 miles out of it,
Okay.
Uh-oh.
up in the
Coker
mountains.
Creek area or
No, sir. I live on Highway 360.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
So tell us some stories you got.
Well,
Strange and unknown.
yeah, a couple strange ones. See, we're pretty sure that our house is, I'm not going to say haunted. We do have spirits that walk around, and it's very obvious. I mean, there was one night I was walking around. My mom asked me to turn off the kitchen light, and it was on when I walked by.
Yeah.
Went down to the bathroom. I was coming back, and it was off. Light was off. Switch was off. And we concluded that it was my dad.
Yeah.
Because
He turned it off for you.
yeah, when Dad was alive, he'd do all these small things for Mom.
Yeah.
And the day when my dad was, one of the days when my dad was sick, we were making biscuits in the oven, and the oven light came on, and the oven actually gave a malfunction noise. Well, we went over and we checked it, and the biscuits was actually almost about to burn, and we were sure that that was my grandfather.
Okay.
Wow.
Just
And
making sure you didn't burn the biscuits.
yeah,
Yeah.
strange little things like that happen all the time in our house. Like a light will randomly flash, and in the mornings around 6 o'clock, you can smell fresh coffee, like fresh off the pot. Walk into the kitchen, nothing's there. Everything's turned off.
Now that's cool.
Yeah, we think that's our my mom, because she would be up every morning early, just drink coffee.
That's my alarm clock. You know, I wake up to the smell of the coffee brew, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need an alarm clock. It's just that coffee.
And
So have you ever seen any like
yes,
Apparitions.
we've
Really?
seen shadows move in the night.
shadows?
Awesome.
Because I'll admit, my papa was a night person.
Yeah.
He would just walk around and do random stuff.
I know that I think your mom says our house used to be a post office.
It did. It was originally a post office in about 1901.
Wow.
It has changed from a schoolhouse to a post office. To we think at one time it was just I'm not going to say a trading post, but just a stop, because the old highway was where behind our house was.
Huh.
And we think that's where the coffee smell comes from. Other than my mouth,
Excuse me.
we don't.
Man.
And I sorry, threw me off for a second. But yeah, our house, you can actually find it in Monroe County records.
Really?
Oh, that's
If
interesting.
you look in old Monroe County records for post offices, it's called Wolf Jump Post Office.
Huh.
It was from 1901 to 1903.
Wow.
Wow. So do you think that a lot of what you get then, do you get a lot of residual type haunting? So it's something that's not necessarily interacting with you, but you know it's there? Kind of like
Well-
the shadows and things like that?
I don't think the shadows are from the post office and whatnot. Or at least I hope not. I would prefer if it was some family members moving
Right.
around.
Hey, you know, sometimes that's the best way to do it is, you know, hope
Yeah.
that it's something that's
Hopefully.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I still say it's a prank that my family was playing on me, but we had dolls that would move around.
Really?
Yes, sir. One was in the barn, and one day I went out to my truck to start working on it. I lifted the hood, and there it sat.
Oh,
Wow.
did you jump back like
Yeah.
what the?
I did, and I walked away, and I did not come back. I said, "No, thank you, not today."
Can you please move somewhere else?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. Like, I even asked my mom. I was like, "Are you guys screwing with me?" They're like, "We genuinely don't know what you're talking about." And
That's good.
yeah.
That's funny. I can see how that could be creepy too, though.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then walk to the barn to go hunt for something, and it's just sitting on an old tiller that's just been abandoned for a little while. There was one boy doll and a female, and it was just spine chilling because
That would be. I'm telling you, that would be. I mean, Chucky put enough fear in a lot of people, but you have actual dolls walking around.
like,
I
and
could hear the music now.
you move a couple days later and they just disappear.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I've
crazy.
looked for them in our old cubbies, and you can't find them.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
it's like they've got their own will to do
Yeah.
whatever.
It's definitely interesting.
That's awesome, man. Oh heck.
We'll have to get Mama to let us investigate that.
Oh yeah,
place.
you're more than welcome to. She's more than welcome to you. You don't even have to ask.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
That'd be
If you
fun.
want an address, I can write it down.
Well, okay, we'll do that where no one else could hear.
Oh yeah, of course. That's
Yeah.
why I said write it down.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. Yes.
But we actually have a ghost scanner that goes off on its own randomly.
Really?
Yeah, we had it tucked away in a box, and one day it just started screaming
What?
like it was
Like-
activated.
So like something turned it on and just
Yeah.
started. Oh, that's cool.
So, are you like in a? I know that area where you're talking about is real wooded and like a
Yes.
forest. Are you by yourself out there?
Yeah, we have no neighbors.
So, do you ever see anything in the woods?
Truth be told, I don't look for it.
You don't go looking in there.
No,
then.
if I see something, I'm just like, I'm gonna keep walking that way. I'm a type of person that if you don't bother it, it won't bother me.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll go on our separate ways.
That's funny.
But I can probably say that something probably has moved around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know the area you're talking about, and it's pretty dense.
Oh, dense for sure.
Nothing but road.
Yeah, nothing but road and fields and
yeah.
forest.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's all it is for
Well,
miles.
we appreciate your stories.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
If you
good.
think of any more, come by and tell us some more.
Oh yeah, definitely. Y'all have a wonderful
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I have
So that
Jason
was Patrick.
put it in our bag over here. So it don't blow
He
away.
lives in the Tellico Mountains, so that's close to the home. Harlan Mountain.
I actually live right
Yeah, I've heard some stories from like Coker Creek around in there. They used to have like a.
Coker Creek, yeah.
They used to have like a. I don't know if it was some kind of. They were called CC camps back in the day, where they would train people or work people, maybe work camp. I don't know, but I've heard a few stories around that area. Hey, we might do a live there.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fun. All right.
Thank you.
Who? Over here? Oh, gotcha. Oh, you got a story? Oh, well, hold on 1 second if you don't mind. Go ahead and sit down if you want to. Yeah. Well, you want to be a podcaster? So,
Thank you.
Me. See, talk for me real quick.
Oh,
A little closer.
A little closer. That that microphone's not as sensitive as these are.
yeah. To pick up a lot of background noise.
Yeah, you got it now.
Good enough.
Yeah.
So we got Mason here going to tell us a couple of stories he's got. Go ahead.
Well, one night I was out there. I live in Chatsworth, Georgia, up near like Ford Mountain, probably about 2 hours from here. And we got 4,000 acres behind our house. And one night we were sitting out there, and it just had stormed and everything, and we were hearing knocks. Just I got a video of it. I'll get it later on, but we were hearing knocks and everything. It'd be like, and then we would hear like a growling sound. It was weird. And I mean, it was like several times for like a span. It would be like 10 minutes it would go without, then another 10 minutes. It was just weird for like an hour and a half back and forth.
So it's like more than one thing growling back and forth to
Yeah,
each
it was
other.
like several different things. It'd be like a tree knock.
Yeah.
And we tried to do a tree knock. It was just like, we've heard it probably about 4 times now in a span of the 6 months that I've been living up there. And I
Yeah.
mean, you have our house, and then there's 4,000 acres back there, and it's just like you hear all kinds of strange noises. And you never know what you're gonna hear. Like we've had a wildfire just happen back there. You see, I mean, you just see the open sky. So I've seen UFOs, the glow. It's that orange glow you get. Same thing I've seen down in Panama. I mean, like you see that same kind of signs. I mean, I'm into all that stuff. Yeah.
That's amazing though,
Yeah, I
man.
want to try going to see the Moon-Eyed people because they're up there for a mountain, and that's like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, you know the Native Americans and the Cherokees actually have a lot of
Yeah,
tales about the
yeah, I got a
Moonite
lot of
people.
Cherokee in me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of all
You
that,
said, yeah, you said you live like Indian burial grounds close by. Or...
yeah, there is. So where I live, the Trail of Tears started. So there's all kind of burial grounds. There's trails behind my house where they were at.
Wow.
We believe that there's an old cemetery too.
Yeah.
The people who lived on the farm previously.
Hmm.
They said they've always seen an Indian. I mean, all kinds of different stuff.
That's wild.
There's like a grave behind my house too. You think an unmarked grave with just rocks, how you usually see.
Hmm.
I mean, it has to be a burial.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're like spread out too. It's like different ones. So it's like 4 to 5 of them. You'd have 3 here, and you go on the back end of the property. It's the same thing. It's like burial grounds.
Really?
So
Have you ever had anything happen in there? Like,
I mean, you'll hear weird stuff, especially early in the morning.
yeah,
And it's like it gets foggy up there a lot, and then you'll hear like that night we heard the tree knock. I mean, we were just freaked out, sitting there on the back porch. You just hear the knock, and then you hear the growl, and it's the weirdest, strangest thing.
wow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say like sometimes they could even feel it. Was you close enough to where you could actually feel that, like the growls and stuff? Or
We were, I would say we were probably about 20 yards from it. And I feel like it was on the east end of my property,
Mhm.
right behind my woods, like where it first started. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was freaked out just sitting there
Mhm.
hearing that. So,
Wow, that's amazing though.
and the paranormal, I mean, I feel like it, especially being up there, the more we've been there, I feel like the more we're starting to see things.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, it seems like the more that you start opening yourself up to stuff, the more that you actually start seeing
Yeah.
things.
As far as
It's
you,
like those blinders go away, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like even the Moon-Eyed people could be back there. I don't know.
Yep.
That's
It's-
something that interests
possible.
me. I want to get up to Fort Mountain and start kind of
Yeah.
seeing they're up there. What a lot of the locals say they found
Oh, that's amazing.
Moon-Eyed and local like UFOs and
Yeah.
supposedly some Bigfoot stuff too. Like somebody we were talking to today had seen one out there in the river going down near the trail where it starts at,
Hmm.
right off the highway. Had seen a Bigfoot. I mean, it crazy stuff, man.
That's amazing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Because that's a lot of history going on right there, especially
Yeah.
with the Trail of Tears
you
being
got
there.
the start of it. I mean, it
Yeah.
started there, and then right down the road from me is where the big tribal chieftain lived
Yeah.
at the time when they signed the
The treaty.
declaration for.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of burial grounds, everything. You
Yeah.
ever go over to Recycle. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go visit that sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Definitely would see some stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Well, thank you for your story.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to come
Yeah.
on.
You're live right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you want to say hi.
Hey. Yeah.
It'll also be put up. I mean, it'll be up later too on YouTube or anywhere. Just go subscribe.
Yeah, you should give me y'all's card. I'm definitely
Okay.
gonna look into y'all and everything like
We
that.
do a lot of stuff, paranormal.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
We love Bigfoot, Dogman.
Dogman. I don't know too much about the Dogman thing. I
You
mean,
know-
it's kind of new to me, like the Dogman.
Yeah.
Mothman. I mean, I hear it's more
I-
like werewolf. sort
Yeah.
of thing. So,
I never heard of Dogman until we were at the Bigfoot conference in Gatlinburg about 3 years ago.
Yeah, someone was talking about it and was
Look,
like,
These ladies outside the conference center just come up and said, "Do you guys do anything with Dogman?" I'm like, "Oh man, what?
Dogman,
Never
man.
heard of Dogman."
yeah.
yeah,
And we've been doing this for like 12 years, since 2012.
yeah,
Really.
yeah.
I mean, what
Yep.
is
You hear like the Beast of Bray Road, and you
Yeah.
hear these stories and stuff,
Yeah.
but
is it just kind of like a werewolf sort of
Okay.
thing, or is it just like a man who turns into a dog? I mean, what? I mean,
it's kind of crazy because you have two different types of creatures.
yeah,
Because you have one that's almost like a werewolf, like a lichen that or a skinwalker in Native American,
yeah,
where
like
it's a
skinwalkers too.
where a man turns into an animal, but because it actually one of them looks like a man, so it has
yeah,
regular legs, regular arms, and just a dog head,
yeah,
kind of. So it's almost like, say, a Bigfoot with the dog head. But then you've got the other one where it is fully canid, so it's actually got the hind legs of a
Yeah.
dog,
Yeah.
and so it's not. So it's almost like there's two different kinds.
something also about the skinwalkers. I don't know. I mean, it's out there. What, Nevada is where it's at? Well, yeah,
Yep. Skinwalker Ranch.
Utah.
That's
Yeah,
Utah. That's
Utah.
Uinta Basin. Yep.
Well, you know how the people on the ranch have the cattle, and then they have the cows that die,
Mhm.
and there's no remains, no blood, no nothing.
Yep.
Well, a couple farmers up where I live at, they've experienced that, and I did some research. Like a lot of people, like around Georgia, like especially up near like Fort Mountain area, you'll get that. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
I didn't know much about it. Like I've done my research on the whole Skinwalker Ranch
Yeah.
stuff, but then you've had where my grandpa was like, yeah, that was weird. That like locals didn't even know, like his buddy, like 30 years back, had experienced something like that too. It's just all over the U.S. It's
Right.
just like
Yep.
just cow remain, like it's just
Cattle mutilation.
yeah,
Yep.
mutilation.
Now
You
in-
have like it's like there's no blood. Like the head will be left in no blood. It's just like no sign of a struggle, no nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and there'll be blood. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was predation, if it was an animal predating on that, then there
Yeah.
would be blood. There'd be signs of struggle. There'd be all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's none of that,
Yeah.
And then incisions are always clean.
Yeah.
That's not like someone.
Organs removed.
Yeah, organs removed, usually an eye and
Yeah, I mean,
ear. Yeah.
because up there at my house, I mean, we've had some cattle die from like coyotes, I mean,
Right.
stuff like that. But there's a struggle. You'll see when
Yes.
there's like a struggle from the other, like the predator going after it.
Yep.
And
Here's-
they'll go after like baby calves. So you'll see the struggle. But I mean, like with the skinwalkers, I mean, a lot of people.
Here's
say-
the theory. Cattle mutilations is basically alien abducting cattle.
yeah,
We think they take them up and they're whatever they're doing, do all their stuff to them with their
Yeah.
precision tools and drain the blood out of them. Then
Yeah.
they get dropped back down to where they were.
Yep. Because a lot of times they'll have broken legs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Sometimes they're even found on top of like sheds and stuff.
really.
Yeah.
I'll
Wow.
have
Yeah.
to do my research a lot more and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm big into conspiracy theory when
Yeah.
I get the time to.
Linda Moulton Howe,
Linda Moulton Howe.
look
Yep.
her up.
She's Linda Moulton Howe is really like that's the main thing she does is aliens and a lot of stuff like that. She's been doing cattle mutilations since the 60s or
Yeah,
70s.
they've been doing like with the they say have been what is it off the coast of Daytona. They've been seeing a lot more stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, like I've experienced stuff. It's the orange globe you see. Like there's
Yep.
many videos out there.
Yep.
That just come. I've got several of them I've seen.
Yeah.
You look out there and it's just like the same sort of thing, or like the triangular
Yep.
sort of beam.
Yep.
green. I mean,
I'd love to be able to see. So I've never really we've had instances where maybe we thought we've seen something, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like a for sure thing. You know, I would love to see that big giant triangular craft or something. When you,
I've
Jason,
seen more of like the globe. Like you don't really see the ship. You see the globe of it. It's the
Yeah.
orange sphere.
yeah,
And like multiple will pop up.
Yeah, and it kind of like illuminates from the inside and
Yeah.
sort of transparent.
Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria, he's running around here. You'll see him. He'll have a Legends and Lore
Yeah.
shirt, but they've got videos and stuff of not far from their house, like once a month or once every couple of months.
Yeah.
This big like UFO comes up in the sky, and then it'll sit there and pulsate,
Yeah.
and then it'll start moving, and then sitting there, and then pulsating, and then moving, and then pulsating,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of disappears.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, you got stuff like the government, they release their UFO stuff,
Yep.
but they're like, oh, we don't know. And then you have the big hearings, but nothing really comes out of it.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yep.
it's up to what you want to believe. But I mean,
Just more
it's,
cover up.
it's just more cover up, like
Yes.
you say.
That's
So
it.
they just,
They don't want the truth out.
they release little stuff. Then they're like, well, it could be from another country. We don't know necessarily what it is because we're getting so many signs of it. So
Mhm.
they were like, we'll have to release a little something.
Yep.
But I mean,
Yep. That's usually the way it goes too.
yeah, especially out there in the desert where Area 51 is. But I also feel like up here in the Appalachians, you see a lot of stuff too.
You do. You do.
Up at night, more clear sky, ain't all that pollution. You can see more, and then you start to see more things
Yep.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, it's definitely nice talking to you
Yeah,
guys. I'm gonna
thank
step.
you.
I got to go run around and do some
All right.
stuff.
Well, thank you, brother.
I'll definitely come by.
Yeah.
You got our card, right?
All
Right.
right. Thank you. Thank you for your story.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, that was great.
Mason. Yeah, he's great.
Man,
Chatsworth of Georgia.
that was good.
Said he had like
Good
4,000 acres behind him.
Could you imagine?
That would be
I'd be
the
going
spot.
squatching. I'd be squatching every day.
That would be the spot.
I'd be setting up some trail cams and stuff, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. We're having a blast here at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival in Townsend, Tennessee.
Yes, we've already got to meet the Turtle Man.
Turtle Man.
We've got to meet Martin Groves just now.
Yeah.
He gave us a big hug.
Yeah. He seems to be a very spiritual guy.
Yeah. It's amazing. So I love it.
Yeah, Martin Groves, Land Between the Lakes. He got a couple of great books out. You can get them on Amazon.
Yes. Yep.
So we're going.
I think the movie that they're playing is kind of based on that stuff too, is
Yeah.
it not?
Yeah.
That he's got about to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing it tonight here, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to turn the camera around and let you look at the festival.
All right. Keep talking to us through everything.
Yeah. Chat us.
Chat us up. if I'm not mistaken, that goes all the way from Georgia all the way through. Yeah. So that's not far from our house. Remember information. That's what we was doing it for, you know.
Can y'all listen and tell us what it is?
Y'all from what's up here? We live in Loudon, so we're just, you know, an hour up the road.
Yeah. We in Murray County, which before living goes through and joins Tennessee's line.
Okay.
That's where, yeah. So you can just drive straight down 411 and that's it. It's about 2.5 hours. But we, our property ran down to 4,600 acres. It used to be what they wildlife, it's still raw land.
Yeah.
And sometimes we hear things. I've heard not what's saying, you know, what I've heard on TV about sports hours, and there's this.
You know, the knocks, are they knocks or is it a vocalization that we think is a knock?
Could be.
Because I know, like, I can. They can do that. It could be. It really could be. Yeah.
Well, she listened to got still. I mean, you got quiet after it doing it, and it sounds like a long tree. You guys have Tennessee here?
Uh,
You guys have.
yeah, we
We come from.
So you do?
Scott. Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it goes. I said, how much you know you? I said, enough. You know, enough Scottish in me to keep the daggone scientists and stuff. Yeah. That's why I get beard.
This is it. We was at
This here too. And a lot of looking at where that.
I worked in prison. Somebody asked me what traffic is.
There's a lot of
Minor traffic.
What traffic? We don't know what happened. Good story. So we're telling you.
All things paranormal.
Yeah.
That's every Thursday and Friday.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about if I want to spend the night out there anymore.
David, I told you this.
You just heard it. I just.
Oh, Dick, was
It
it?
sounds just like it.
Was it? Was it the ground?
Oh, the howl.
Oh, the house?
Yeah.
Is it like the Ohio house?
No, it's different. Listen.
Sounds similar.
Guys, we'll holler at you later. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, you too, brother. Take care.
Oh, you could hear it. He's got 7 lungs on him. Smokes.
And I'm just saying, all right, 10 minutes. Listen to, I didn't record the whole time. It got dead quiet, and it was like a tree just cracking. And I got goosebumps.
She left me on the porch.
She's like, see you later.
Some neighbors that back up to our farm. Wildlife management.
It's a Kusawati wildlife.
Wow. So it being a wildlife management, you could actually go in there, can't you? Y'all ever do any Bigfoot?
Not speak of, just amateur stuff.
Well, I mean, that right there is people just have that experience.
No, that would be fair.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's nice
crazy.
meeting y'all.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Trying to keep up with
Did you get a
y'all.
corn
Yes.
dog?
Oh. Have a good day.
I was like, guy that was over here with the beard that I was talking to over there. Or Cherokee. Have people would go to the Bigfoot conference over here in Gallenberg for, this will be our 6th year going, I think, or 5th or 6th year. And we'll have people we sold the first year we were there, and they're like, this church still lasting.
I think it's got them all.
Yes. Yeah, the UFOs are taking the dinosaurs out. They didn't go. They didn't go extinct. They just got taken. Yes. Oh, I like it. That looks like pant. Oh, I like. See it? That's good. Yeah, it is. That's old school stuff right there. Thank you. Y'all have a good one. That's right. Exclusive, right? That's good, Jason. That's exactly what I mean. Dose. How you doing? Good, good. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good.
Do any podcasts?
Yeah.
Doing it from here?
Yes. We're live right now. Yeah.
I couldn't get a signal on my phone. I don't know how y'all are doing it. You got a password? I actually do my own podcast. Did you? I did. It's real pretty too. For my retirement, so I have something to do.
Right. There you go. Can't wait for me to retire. I'm never going to get to retire. You're going to let me. That's what I'm saying. I'll never get to retire.
But he kept telling me you're too young to retire, so I grew a beard.
Yeah.
And they don't tell me that anymore.
I can't grow a beard. This is it. This is all I got.
I
Right
didn't think I could either. And that's all I had for years.
Yeah.
I said, I stopped shaving little things over here. Finally came in.
Did it?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Once I stopped coloring it, everybody, thought it was good. Much to my wife's chagrin.
Yeah. Mine doesn't like it at all.
It's funny. You know, I've got this $1,400 phone from 3 years ago, and I can't get anything out of here. Nothing. It
Wow.
tells me I have 4 bars. It tells me there's Wi-Fi all over the place. But
That's what it was telling me.
can't get it. Yeah, I just started a brand new YouTube channel you might want to check out.
Okay.
It's called Science on Fun.
Oh, okay.
And I had to switch it around because it said don't mix shorts with other men. Don't mix them. They'll. So I actually have 2 of them. It's like fun facts and shorts. And that's what most of the main stuff is. They're short. But it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And YouTube, yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff recently. I've been on YouTube for 20 years.
Wow.
And I used to do tutorials for video editing. I mean, that. I get like $100 a month for that. That's cool. Recently learned that YouTube pays out daily $64 million a day. Of course, they got millions of creators.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't dying.
Yep.
Right?
We're in that category.
Yeah.
Making a dime.
Not off of that one anyway.
I like the shorts because they hook everybody. You go down a rabbit hole, and then before you know it, you've been looking at things for an hour and a half. I do, but nobody goes. Nobody watches it. They're the same content.
Right.
They're the same content. I'm a video creator. I prefer the landscape horizontal format. You know?
Yeah.
You do like
Yeah. I've done. Yeah, most of what I've done is from the 50s and 60s. In fact, all of what I've done is from the 50s and 60s. I started 2 weeks ago, and figured I need to do something. That's my other channel, my podcast channel. So I need to do something, and I started getting thousands of views on the shorts. But they'll cut it off. You put it up there. The next morning you get up and you have 1,000 views on one, and then it just flatlines stop. They cut it off.
That's what happens for us. Like we'll get our best one so far is like what 1,300 on our shorts.
If you go on YouTube and start looking at all those how to make it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, they're making it because of all the people trying to make it.
No, I'm actually from St. Petersburg, Florida, but I live in Bryson City now. We retired to Bryson.
Oh yeah. They do. That's a TV show. Yeah. It's all old horror books.
Built a nice recording studio for music. I dedicated one end of it for podcasting. I built a whole podcasting thing now. It's great. It's me and a co-host. Her name's Courtney. She's real sweet. And so people watch for Courtney, they don't want me. But
that's where we're going wrong.
Well,
that's how you got me.
They have some pretty things. You put a pretty girl in the middle of something, and everybody will look at it.
Gotcha. You got the voice.
So I had a fellow, a very dear old friend of mine, who I didn't know anything what happened to him for the last 30, 40 years. And when I got the podcast, he popped up. His name is Glenn Quiggins. He was a drummer back in the day. He went out to Hollywood, owned a modeling agency for a while. He just had his whole life that I never knew anything about. I said, so what are you up to now? He said, well, I live on the edge of the Daniel Boone Forest in Kentucky.
Wow.
And he said, in my backyard, I get UFOs every single night. Every single night. Every single night. And he gets the orbs every night. He goes out there. He said, documentary filmmakers come to his house, set up in the backyard, do the whole thing. I said, well, that's great. You want to be my guest? So I did a remote with him. It came out, it was pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Sweet guy, really nice guy. Did him. I had my own UFO encounter a couple of years ago, which, I'm one of those I want to believe kind of guys,
yes,
but never saw anything. And suddenly I saw something one night that really freaked me out. Right over my house. Triangle shaped craft, 2 of them, back to back, flying directly from the south, due north, down to St. Petersburg. And it just happened. And it was black sky, no lights on the craft, no sound. And I was looking, I came out in front of my house about 11 o'clock. I was looking across the roof of my house because I'm looking for a cat on the roof of my house. And a cat. And my neighbor had a huge tree in the backyard. And these these things just come right across comes from behind that tree. Go this way, and I thought it was pelicans at first, because believe in,
Yeah.
that area. And then there's obviously just solid triangle. Flying due north until it disappeared in the black night. Wow, that was it.
Not a lot going on over here. So you know
I
that's
saw a
not.
couple of things. I live. You ever been to Bryson City? Nice place. It's where the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is. Big ride. Brings hundreds of tourists to town every day.
Yeah.
Well, no. But going to Bryson City since I was a little kid, my wife and I always thought, man, when we retire, we got to go buy our dream house in Bryson City. That's exactly what we did. Wow. So we're up on a hill overlooking Bryson City, and Bryson City's got a lot of lights. It's not very big. Population 1750. But again, the railroad brings hundreds of tourists to town every single day. And so I get some weird moving lights over the city sometimes. Orbs kind of stuff. I saw one a couple of weeks ago. I'm walking out of my bedroom, and there's the living room. Got big picture windows. The whole area. Right? Walking out of my bedroom, I see two things coming in my windows. Look like headlights coming in the window. And I got my wife. I saw it.
David.
And so, what the hell is that? And it was hovering.
That's Jason.
And it started moving.
We're the ones.
And then it went back, and then it went behind the mountain. No idea, probably a drone. Have you? That's what I don't know who'd be flying a drone around there. That's I saw another little one.
Not the same. Yep. Yeah, that's native Elias. Yep. He talks about all the missing people.
Like a black rectangle, long,
really interesting stuff.
Really, I thought it was a bird.
Yeah.
That could be a drone, but it was raining.
I'm originally from Kentucky, Middlesboro, Pine. My parents owned the land around Kentucky.
But
So
it's
I grew up there. And I'd never seen anything. We've been all through those things. Never seen a year and a half ago, me and her camping. Run right smack dab into something. I was just like, big eyes. She can tell she didn't. She can't lie.
If you ever want to be a guest on my podcast, have me as a guest on your
Yeah, it's weird. So I'm trying to go through my mind.
I'm doing all the
Some of my
stuff.
cousins, so they shoot a lot back. As far back as we are, nobody's stupid enough to
I'd love to
sneak up on us.
Yeah.
Get lit.
Right. Well,
It's
that's what happens.
Trying to figure out what we're seeing.
so that because it always messes me up. Audio gets out of speed.
Stand there baffled. She saw it first.
Right
She
now,
does her
we
arm
can-
like this. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm like, why are you hitting
What do
me?
you use for
Right, I
guests?
look up and I
For remote guests.
so I'm trying to figure my mind. Walk to this big and stand beside a little spruce pine. So we stand there and look at it, and I thought,
Yeah, it's totally free. Most of these things always think on the spring.
yeah, so we
And
thought maybe it's a
It's even friendly.
and then it's like a dog. And he just stared at us and I was like, and you can see the map.
I don't
Dark,
go
but you can
live.
see the map.
I record my.
If you give me your name, I'll have them.
So,
down.
yeah, we got her for a minute, and then it just
Yeah.
one step over the bank.
Yeah, that's right. They made that. And then one's for Conrad and Abby. Abby, ABBY. Thanks.
I hear you're like, that goes right to the 5 o'clock.
Thank you. Can you tell us a bit more about the book? I mean, I know they
That's
it's self-explained.
Scared me so bad, I told my parents that's the first house you come to on the way out. My family lives back there.
Yeah.
And it's a long, we didn't have electricity until we built some of the
Yeah,
houses
happy
back
birthday
there.
to him.
You know? Real remote. So, told my parents when we went out, I said, maybe don't let the grandkids play.
Be careful. So, you know, all the old timers used to have a bunch of rules for kids when they went out to the woods.
Yeah.
One was no whistling.
Right.
Because they used to call it a whistle jack. And a lot of the old timers still say whistle jack. Whistling called them in.
Really?
Yes. And
I
so,
didn't know.
yeah, so they used to say, do not whistle when you're in the woods because you will call them into.
Where are we talking about? We have more better friends than anybody has. We have more stuff happening back there than Really? We just haven't documented some of it, but nothing major. Yeah, it's strange up there. It's like a vortex. Now, this one particular spot where you get back, we were trying to figure it out. When we were there the next time. We actually live in Washington now, so we don't get to go home a whole lot. Yeah. But maybe the reason.
I can only Venmo you guys if it's
Hold
easier.
on, son.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, I heard y'all had some booze. Oh, I don't doubt it. I was bored this weekend. I did my laundry Wednesday.
No, I got the backpack. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Oh, here you go. Thanks.
Oh, that's have it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Then got there, turned on the water, and the hose.
Here he is.
Oh, it's up in this one's gonna be up in their pigeon forward. Yeah, I'm going from here. I'm gonna go there, do some things there tonight.
And you too. Put it. If not, then thank you very
Thank
much. I
you.
appreciate
Thank
it. It's
you.
exciting. I
Thank you.
can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like, we were thinking about it, we have like a double blood tie to that land. Because a lot of them, like my grandfather owns it now. My grandfather on my mother's side, he used to.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah, appreciate it.
like we watch all of it.
We got, but don't you worry. We'll be listening. Oh, really? Oh, it's fine.
Yes.
So,
They are.
over here. Look like that. So,
It's a lot of stories. Yeah, we've got a big, solid story. Hopefully we'll have it by the time we go to the conference. Yeah, so it's got three different sections. So we have cryptids and East Tennessee and this whole area. And then it goes into and then it goes into paranormal as far as the
We do the ghost hunting. She's got all the ghost hunting.
We do ghost hunting. That's what we like to do. Yes, yeah, we do.
She's like a magnet for pretty weird things.
Yeah. She's like, what?
Might be a sensitive or something. My brother. But he wants to kill people. We don't want to kill him. I told Alex, I tried to explain to her the worst thing that could ever happen to a big be over.
Yep. Well, then the question would definitely be over.
Well, the question would be over. But the question would be over.
Well, there's places though. It's funny because there's places in California and Oregon and stuff like that, like near Alaska area and all that. They're already federally protected. If you get caught shooting one, you actually do prison time like murder.
But is that actually, you know what I'm saying? Have they actually, do they have a specimen that we can look at?
Sure.
If somebody ever does get one,
They take it out of the they do.
I just don't think it'd be a good idea. I don't know. Like we saw, something tell me people because we're afraid people walk in.
Well, that's the hard part sometimes when you get into the ethics.
I think it's kind of a paranormal Yep, yep.
They call it the woo a lot.
Where they want, but we saw, what we saw to this day, is 12 foot tall. The tree that I told you about the first spot, was 12 foot tall.
Yeah, I
And it wasn't good. But it tree went out like a week. I couldn't figure it out. Like,
Giorgio.
it took a long mask to make it through.
Yeah.
And then you can see the mask. It's definitely.
He got his sunglasses on there. All right. Yep. Thank you. I wasn't into the pay to meet him kind of attitude this morning. So you're right. Yeah. This is fun. Jason says, how you doing? Okay. Do you have any good stories? Would you like to tell one live? Let's see. Let's set this back up because I know it's been moved 15 times now. Might have to speak straight into it. That one's not a powered mic. Alrighty. All right. So, what was your name? I didn't even ask. Name's Rob Effler. I'm with North Carolina Investigates out of Western North Carolina. Awesome. I know you got some story to tell us. Oh, we got tons of them. Which one do you want to hear? Any of them, all of them.
Your favorite.
Your favorite one. Favorite one, paranormal or cryptid related? Oh man, we like both. Let's do cryptid.
Yeah, since we're at the Bigfoot Festival.
Favorite one is a couple of weeks ago we were in East Tennessee. We had 2 other investigators with us. Co-founder George Lunsford, and we had our other investigator Harley Owens. Well, we were in our favorite location because we'd had plenty of interactions and found plenty of evidence. We're traveling down this trail. George is behind me. Harley's in front. We're being paralleled the whole entire time. Oh wow! So you could hear like that. You could hear bipedal walking every time we'd stop. It'd stop, but it'd stay just outside the sight distance. You get to Laurel and everything, and you couldn't actually see what was paralleling you, but it was bipedal and it wasn't a hiker. Yeah, because it was off trail. Right. George is behind me trying to get his camera to work because his camera's having malfunctions on his shoulder strap. Yeah. Harley's paying attention to what's going on to our left side. So I'm in the middle, watching everything. I see a shadow. Well, we all stop. George still boogering with his camera. Harley's dead intent on what he's looking at on the left-hand side. So I'm standing there for about maybe 2.5 minutes watching this shadow. I thought, it's not acting exactly like a shadow because every great now and then the sun would come peek through the clouds. Shadow didn't go away, didn't dissipate or any of the sort. I'm standing there looking at it. All of a sudden it moves. Oh. Shadow's about like here to that tent over where the speakers are at, in front of us down the trail. Yeah. So it leans over and looks. So I go to hollering at Harley because he's in front of me by about 10, 12 feet. Yeah. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. George said, oh, dear Jesus God, what's going on? I said, too late. He takes off. He's 9 foot tall, looks like a basketball player, not like a typical 4 foot at the shoulders. Yeah. He was probably 3. I'd say probably he was about half grown.
Yeah.
So he takes off through the woods, covers over 100 yards in less than 7 seconds, and don't make a sound.
Holy smokes.
So we start to go after him, and George hollers, "Whoa, wait a minute. We still got activity on the left." So one thing we can figure out, we got a unit moving through. This one decides
Trying to
get our
divert you.
attention so the rest of them can go get in formation where they want to. Because once you see one,
Yeah.
you're automatically surrounded.
Gotcha.
So when you get surrounded like that, best advice, don't do anything stupid. Don't reach for a firearm. Don't try to reach for a weapon of any kind. Because if they see any sign of aggression, it may not turn out very well.
Right.
So we go ahead and we follow this one all the way down to the creek. You see where he crosses. Well, we know the other group, which could be 3, 6, ever how many's in a group.
Right.
They go ahead and go on through. But we wasn't paying no attention to them because they didn't pose no threat. They didn't throw no rocks.
Right.
So when we got back to the original location, we measured. Is at least 9.5 feet tall.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
We took a standard tape measure like what you get at Lowe's or Home Depot
Yeah.
or any hardware store.
Yeah.
9.5 feet tall. He travels over 100 yards in less than 7 seconds.
That's
These
amazing.
creatures are the fastest and the most agile anything.
And then not even to make a sound. I mean,
oh yeah, that's
So
that's
they-
the amazing part. We're estimating now. We've never, actually sat down with a Bigfoot. Nobody ever
Right.
has,
Yep.
unless it's probably the federal government.
yeah.
I'm estimating probably their feet are probably 3 inches thick, all calloused over.
Yep.
And if they want to move and not make a sound,
They can do it.
they can easily do it. Because
Yeah.
I've been sitting in the woods deer hunting many a time over. Woods be the leaf litter on the ground be crunchy like potato chips.
Yep.
You can hear a squirrel at 200 yards.
Yep.
And you see movement out of the corner of your eye, and you turn around. Where'd that deer come from? And you knowing good and well
Yeah.
that if a chipmunk or a squirrel runs across,
Yeah.
they're not quiet.
It sounds like an elephant.
It sounds like
Yeah,
they're trained
it
to come
does.
through the woods. And
Because at the house, our house is right in the middle of just woods, and it's the same way. I'll sit there and be on the porch, and I'll just hear and it sounds like 200 pounds running through there
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. And then you'll just sit there and look and look and look, and finally it'll either be a chipmunk or a squirrel just scattering down
I've
through
even
there.
seen birds make noise, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
how can something other that little make that much amount of noise?
Yeah, yeah,
And then you take a creature that's about 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide at shoulders, roughly 350, 400 pounds, can move that agile
and no sound.
and no sound. As just like the first 2 that I saw. We had no idea they were there. We were doing a recon mission.
Mhm.
I wasn't with NCI at the time. I was with another group called Bigfoot 911 out of McDowell County, North Carolina. Me and the commander of the unit, his son and his son's brother,
Mhm.
we were just checking out an area just to see if it, held enough evidence to come back and do an investigation, see if we could find prints, structures, and this, that, and the other. Well, we were stopped, and we just basically was looking at a tree, was trying to figure out where the top of it went.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We couldn't figure out where the top of the tree went.
Mhm.
So we was just standing there, trying scratching our head, trying to figure out where did the top of this tree go? It's got to be here somewhere because it was snapped clean off. I mean, not sawed off,
hmm
but you could tell something that had opposable thumbs broke the tree at exactly about 5.5 foot off the ground.
Wow.
Well, this was in the fall of the year in November. And of course, it starts getting darker a lot easier, a lot earlier, I mean.
Yeah.
So the sun goes to setting where we're at in the woods. We were in the shadow zone. You could look high up on the ridge and still see the sun. We weren't prepared for anything.
I mean, we didn't have a flashlight. We didn't expect to be in the woods that long. We basically forgot, what time of day it was. So I see something other glistening out of the corner of my eye, turn around and look, and it's a juvenile. Light blonde in color, looked like anywhere between a 5 to 8-year-old kid. We were 2 miles back in the woods. There's no way in God it could be anybody in the
Right.
stoop.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
This thing runs across a log that's been felled down by the weather, never makes a sound. The leaf litter is just as crunchy as potato chips. Again, you could hear a squirrel at 200 yards.
Yeah.
He runs across the log, dives head first into a laurel thicket, hits the ground just like a house cat, never makes a sound. So we're
Wow.
standing there. Are we seeing what we think we're seeing? Brad had seen one or two in the past.
Yeah.
So he wasn't, he was excited, but he wasn't as excited as I was because that's the first one I'd ever seen. I was losing my mind. So Nick, he's still messing with the tree. He didn't exactly get to see, but just barely a glimpse of it going into the laurel thicket when we was having a hissy fit.
Yeah.
So I see something else move in the corner of my eye. I get to looking. There's another one with it. 4.5 feet wide at the shoulder.
Oh.
Have no idea how big it was. Light brown in color. So it just backs up against a big oak tree and slides straight down to where you can't see it. So I look at Brad and I said, "Are we idiots? Are we seeing this?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "We've actually seen this." I said, "Do you have your tree knocking stick?" He said, "It's in my backpack." I said, "Well, hurry up and get it out." So he gets his tree knocking stick. He gives 2 tree knocks on a tree. 85 yards up the hill, we get 2 knocks back. So Brad's a dying to go after it. And I said, "Brad, we can't do that." He said, "Why?" I said, "Take a look around where we're at. Where we're at, it's kind of like a canyon in a way in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a real big V.
Yeah.
We were in the awfulest ambush zone. If they'd have wanted us, they could have got us any given time that they wanted to. Only thing I can figure out, they must have been up there either sunning, playing, or whatever.
Right.
And where we came in at, we surprised them. We didn't know they were there. They weren't expecting anybody else to be in the area because nobody hardly ever goes in there, even deer hunting or bear hunting or anything else.
Right.
So I guess we caught them off guard. As steep as it was going up the other side, if you'd have took 3 steps forward, as slick as the leaves were, you'd have took 15 or 20 steps backwards. I mean, it was steep as a horse's face going in there.
Yeah.
So I looked at Brad and I said, "We need to go." He said, "Why?" I said, "One, we don't have a firearm
Yeah.
in case
Something.
something other goes sour.
Yeah.
Number 2, the only flashlight we have is on our cell phones. Number 3, we weren't prepared for this. We were just doing recon."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "We're surrounded. We need to go."
Yeah.
I said, "Remember what your daddy told us?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "I do." He said, "I think that's a good idea." So we go backtracking about 2 miles back towards the truck. And after that, Bigfoot bug bit, and
Been on it since.
it's been lightning in a bottle ever since.
Wow.
And then that was in 2019. And in 2023, George Lunsford and myself, we formed North Carolina Investigates. So we started out really and truly as a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And George said, "Well, I'm a dying to see a Bigfoot." I said, "Well, let's just go ahead and form a team." I said, "We'll see what we can do." It's been lightning in a bottle ever since. We wound up with a guy as our producer
Mm-hmm.
for our podcast. His name was Eric Kuyar. And he stayed with us for probably almost a year. He had stage 4 cancer. I can't remember if it was prostate cancer or if it was intestinal cancer. I can't remember which it was. Well, Eric passed away. Well, we had to sort of do like we'd been doing, running a podcast by ourselves, and we got noticed by WROK FM out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Rock and Randy out of Las Vegas. So he decided to be our CEO and our producer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been lightning in a bottle ever since.
That's
we got
amazing.
noticed by two other guys, also from Las Vegas. They said, these guys don't sugarcoat anything.
Yep.
They don't fabricate anything. And we don't. If we
Right.
find it, we find it. If we don't, we
you
don't.
Yep.
Because there are times you will go in the woods for weeks on end. You won't see anything. You won't have no interaction of nothing. We report everything we get or we don't get. Said, let's give these guys a chance to go on Channel 12 TV network. And we did. So we're building steam in the UK. We're hopefully be building steam in the United States. You can find us on Roku, Google Play, Comcast, Apple Play, Fire Stick, you name it. We're on about 7 or 8 different
That's amazing.
platforms, and it's been lightning in a bottle, and we've been enjoying the ride ever since. And the guys that I have with me, I've got Jerry Millwood Jr., I've got Tim Deals, I've got George Lunsford. Part of the time we've got Harley Owens with us, and I've got my wife Michelle. I couldn't ask for a better group.
Right.
You don't have to worry about none of them. You can about look at the other one and tell what the other one's thinking.
Right.
We've got one another's back. No need for outside security or anything else for that matter, because we basically can figure out just by the look somebody gives on your face.
Yep.
What's fixing to happen. Basically a family unit, anything in the woods or on the street.
Yep.
We're just a phone call or a text message away, and you just can't
So,
beat it.
That's
You're
amazing.
on Roku.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, just come by our booth next
Yeah.
door, and we'll be more than happy. I didn't bring no cards with me at the present moment, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
and if you guys are interested in being on Channel 12, we'll put you in contact with Rocket Randy. He used to be a professional wrestler. He's wrestled Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker.
Oh,
I
heck.
think he's even wrestled the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, he had a pretty good
That's
run
cool.
in WCW.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
we shacked up with him, as old saying
Yeah.
goes. And I mean, he's a wonderful individual.
Yeah.
He's down to earth.
Yeah.
He don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
And if he tells you something other, you can take that check to the bank and cash it,
Yeah.
because it's gospel, whatever he says.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your story was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
first story, I got a question.
Sure.
So you said his camera was messing up. You're seeing a shadow,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really see you can hear him, but you can't really see him, but you're seeing the shadow, right?
Right.
Do you think it might be something supernatural?
Well,
Blue.
we were being behind the graveyard, so I mean anything's possible.
I mean, I'm
But
just
from
saying,
the way the bipedal cadence,
Yeah.
and everything, every time we'd stop, it would stop.
what I'm saying, can you correlate the
Possible woo with
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Do
To
you-
be quite honest, in my personal opinion, other people may have experienced that.
Yeah.
I've not yet. So I'm
Nothing.
the idea and the theory is still open.
Right.
But as far as, what we've encountered,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion, Bigfoot is just a flesh and blood creature, species all to its own.
Right.
That scientists and the federal government, even though they know about it,
Yeah. They refuse
they
to
don't
tell
they
everybody.
don't want to admit to it,
Mm-hmm.
because you take tourism, logging, and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, then you'd have to, set aside land for them, habitation.
Well, technically speaking, land has been set aside.
Yeah.
And the one that did that is Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I can't remember how the story goes, but you can Google it or YouTube it, either one. I can't remember if he shot at one or started to shoot at one and realized it looked too much human in the face.
Yep.
And he said, I've got to protect these.
Yep.
Teddy Roosevelt was a big bear hunter.
Yep.
He was a big time, big game hunter.
Yep.
And the guy that he took with him, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I think
Off the top
that
of my
guy
head.
shot at one is what I think how it went.
Teddy gets up one morning. His guide's gone. He's sitting there thinking, well, where did this fool go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 or 3 hours later, the guy comes back. He said, where you been? He said, I've been in the woods all my life. He said, there's something other out here. He said, I've never encountered. He said, well, what is it? And he said, come here, let me show you. So about 120 yards away from camp, they find these tracks.
Mm-hmm.
4 foot stride. No human can go 4
No.
4 foot at a time.
Nope.
So he follows them for a mile and a half, trying to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
Well, he shows Teddy what's going on. No human's going to be out there in the woods barefooted. I don't care who
Nope.
you are.
Nope.
You're not going to last 15 minutes in any terrain.
Yep.
Barefooted, any human today.
Yep.
It's not possible.
Yep.
You will be begging for somebody. You'll be texting somebody. Can you
Bring me
in
my
a pair of
shoes.
tennis shoes or a pair of boots?
Yeah.
And after they figured out, it was something other that needed to be protected, it didn't need to be harmed.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all these national parks came from.
Right.
Now, if you take the national parks, the cave systems in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and the disappearances and possible a lot of the encounters, these maps will just about overlap. So everybody says they disappear. They might disappear to where you can't see them, but they know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They went underground.
Right.
I had a buddy of mine. He's a pretty good investigator. His name is Lee Woods. His main place that he investigates is in Uwharrie National Forest down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
This lady was a Cherokee. She said when she was little, she was out playing in the woods. She said she kept hearing something other. Well, her mama could still see her out the window of the house. Well, her mama went to hollering, told her to come back to the house. She said she got to looking. This bush raises up. Well, this hands comes out from under the bush, trying to reach and get her.
Oh, heck.
Well, they finally see the Bigfoot come up out of the ground. Well, when her daddy gets home from work, goes out there and gets looking, you can't find where the ground's been disturbed. So they're masters of their own environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They definitely know it.
You take a creature, let's just say just for the sake of argument,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know how old they are,
Right.
don't know how long they've been on this planet.
Right. Or how long they live.
Exactly. Let's just say, just for the sake of argument, you take a creature that's been on this planet for 2,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to know every hole and corner,
Yep.
every trick in the book.
Yep. Yep.
And you're not going to outsmart them.
Well, you take your average kid, right? It's a little bit harder now. Back when we were kids, we'll say,
Yeah.
we knew our area, our block, within a few block radius. We knew every place to go hide. We knew everything about it. And I think that they're, like you said, they're like that, right? They're born, bred, raised in whatever forest or wherever it is that they're born. And they know every downed log. I mean, they know everything there because that's their area.
Well, that's just like the question that we always get about game cameras.
Yeah.
Well, why can't you catch them on game camera? Well, I don't care who you are. You go to Tractor Supply,
Mm-hmm.
Rural King, Walmart, Bass Pro Shop, or anywhere that sells game camera.
Mm-hmm.
You open that up, what's the first thing that you smell?
Plastic. Yep.
Plastic.
Yep.
You smell petroleum.
Yep.
They know what every tree smells like. Anything that's foreign.
Yep.
Even seasoned deer hunters.
Yep.
You put something other out there in the woods, say for instance, you're after a big 10 point,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been after him for 2 or 3 years and can't figure out why you can't bag that 10 point. You know he's there. You've seen the sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's horning. You know he's chasing does. You know he's doing what big bucks do.
Right.
But yet you can't be there at the same time he is. You're doing something other wrong.
Right.
There's something other foreign on the breeze or something foreign you've put out there.
Yep.
And he knows it. Now, granted, deer, bear, bobcat, whatever, are not going to pay a game camera any attention.
Yep.
They're so used to them. But as far as Bigfoot goes, that
Right.
infrared light.
Yep. A lot of
in my
people say
opinion,
they think that they
I
can see
think
it.
they can actually see that infrared light.
Right.
They know what it is, and they'll do everything in their power to avoid it.
They said that they've got some cameras out now that don't have to have infrared to be able to snap the photo.
Now, I'd like
At
to run
nighttime.
into those.
Yeah.
I'd say they're probably a little bit pricey, but I'd still like.
It was what's his name? Scott Violet that was on show last week. He's a Bigfoot. He was he hunts Bigfoot and stuff, or he goes investigates. He by trade he was a what was it, Jason? Do you remember what he did? Scott Violet did before.
He was in the military, wasn't he?
Well, he's in the military, but after that, when he got his GI Bill, went to college. I don't know why. Anyway,
Anthropology.
yes, he was an anthropologist with Native Americans,
Right.
and that's what got him interested in it, was the fact of him seeing the rock art and stuff of Bigfoot, and him saying, "No, it's a real thing. It's not just whatever."
I don't think former civilizations had that great of an imagination.
Yeah,
they basically
well,
kept
this is
a
what it is.
record of whether it be cave drawings,
Yep,
or stories,
yep,
passed down from generation to generation,
yep,
of what they've actually witnessed, what they've actually saw. I mean, I'm pretty well sure somebody somewhere may have had a sense of humor.
Yeah,
but I don't think they had that broad spectrum of an imagination like some people do today.
right. Yeah.
Now, we have actually run into some people that were, you knew quite well their cornbread wasn't quite well done in the center.
Yeah.
They were smoking something that wasn't a Marlboro, that's for sure. But for the most part, if somebody's story never changes,
yep,
and hits the same all the way through,
yep,
these individuals have seen something.
Yep, yep,
and there's still land out there.
Yep,
we've not explored. We've not been into.
Yep,
there's a place right where I live. I live right under Mount Mitchell, which is the highest point east of the Mississippi at 6,684 feet. I live at the base of it. There's still places on that mountain that I can just about guarantee nobody set foot in probably 85 or 100 years.
Wow.
The breakdown of the forest where sticks and leaves and everything else and old dead trees is piled up, you'll be walking on top of the timber for hundreds of yards on end. If you broke through in a few places, you might fall 25 or 50 feet. You might survive it. Then again, it may kill you if you fell through it. And you put that kind of environment with a creature that's a master of its own environment, it's going to be extremely hard to catch, on camera or personal encounter. So,
yep.
I mean, possibilities are endless. I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
It's just amazing at things that they can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And Scott was the one that brought up the fact of those new cameras that they've got that don't have the infrared
right
on them that they're starting to implement in their investigations.
Yeah, I mean, we're open about any theory, as long as it falls, along lines of sensibility.
Right.
Now, when you start talking about way far out stuff that there no physical or physics can't explain, that's above and beyond.
Right. Right. Yeah, we I don't know, because it's a hard thing for me on some aspects, because we're really good with Matt Sieber, East Tennessee Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
And he's had mind speak happen to him personally.
Oh.
And so it's not that he thinks that it happens. He knows personally that it happens because it's happened to him. And so then you have a lot of Native American tales where they talk about the creature walking in both worlds. They walk in the spirit world and in this plane. A lot of Native American tales talk about the orbs that are seen with these creatures. And so I'm like you, I've seen Bigfoot myself.
Right.
It was a quick sighting. There was no orbs. There was no UFOs, nothing crazy. It looked like a giant creature. I saw it just as plain as I'm looking at you, you know. But I'm also open to the fact that um, these other people have had experiences, and that they're sure of what happened to them is correlated with that. And so I'm not the kind of person that's going to say no. You know, I'm not going to discount it at all. But I know my personal experience, I didn't have anything weird happen with it. And mine was, I used to be a truck driver. I've been off the road now for almost a year now. And me and my wife used to team drive. So she drove day shift, I drove night shift. And we was actually on I-90 in Washington.
Oh, okay.
And Washington State, for people out there listening to this. So it was about 11 o'clock at night, and it was foggy, but it wasn't a dense fog. It was just a light fog, but about 4 car lengths ahead is where you could probably see the taillights. But you couldn't really make out a vehicle, but you could see taillights.
Right.
And it was about that far away that the Bigfoot come up out of the median in between the two interstates, the east and westbound, come up out of it, took about 3 steps across the interstate and back up the mountain on the other side before I could even reach it.
Oh yeah. They are fast.
And I know I could have pulled over, rolled down my window, and had a face-to-face conversation with it in the big truck. I know I could have. He was big, massive, but it was just like that.
Oh yeah.
Just
that's usually the way most encounters happen.
Yeah.
It happens so quick. And when you're seeing something like that, only way I can explain it is your mind goes into complete meltdown because it's like a short circuit on a computer.
Yes.
You're not 110% for sure.
Yes.
You're triple questioning yourself.
Yes.
And everybody, you know, another main question we get asked, well, where's the photo of it?
Yeah.
Well, for one, you don't have Olin Mills out here in the woods doing family portraits of them.
Right.
Number 2.
Hey, Biggie, can you just stop for a second?
Number 2, the last thing on your mind is reaching for that camera.
Yeah.
It's always the last thing on your mind. I don't care who you are.
And it happens so quick, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's just no way.
It doesn't matter what the situation is. The last thing on your mind is reaching for that camera because after everything's all over said and done, that's when reality sets in and you're going, well, idiot, you forgot to get your camera. And even with a
couple weeks after that, we put a dash cam in the truck.
Oh yeah.
Like if it ever happens again, I'm catching it. Never happened again, but
that's usually the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. But doing what we do and hearing all the stories and talking to all the people, even when it happened, I probably drove for 5 minutes or 10 minutes before I finally reconciled that is what I just saw.
Oh yeah.
Because it was like, no, it could. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it was crazy, but I don't know. I know it exists for sure.
I do.
And people like you have seen him on more than one occasion. You know,
5 different times.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. That's amazing. We want to, at some point, we want to start doing some investigations. We mostly do paranormal investigations, so a lot of ghost.
I got my start.
Is it?
Yeah, in 2007, I formed a team called Go Dark Paranormal Investigations, and we had a pretty good run up until about 2012. And in 2012, I started getting a few reports from some of the locals. I didn't know if they were pulling my leg, didn't know if they were joking or whatever about Bigfoot in the area where I live. I was like, seriously? So I went, you know, like everybody else, researching, because prior to that, if you'd have mentioned Bigfoot, I'd have said, oh, that's Bluff Creek.
Yes.
That's Boggy Creek.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that around here.
Yeah,
I mean, these people they're smoking something other, and
Yes.
their dope dealer sold them some bad stuff.
That's right.
I mean, that would have been what I'd been thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to look at some of these stories and research it and everything. I was like, maybe they are something other to this.
Yeah.
And from 2012 to 2019, I had only one or two other guys that I could count on to go in the woods with me. We never seen anything because really and truly we didn't know what we were looking for until well, me and this other guy, we got buddied up with Bigfoot 911 out of McDowell County. Then everything that we'd been researching, everything he'd been teaching, and everything else sort of fell into place. We was like, oh, now we know what to look for.
Gotcha.
And in 2019, again, caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like a big buck will catch you off guard in the woods when you least expect it.
Right.
That's when everything happened, and bug bit, and it's been
on ever since.
It's been on like Donkey Kong ever since.
That's funny. I used to dig ginseng and stuff, and did it for years with my relatives up in Crossville and stuff. That's what we did. A lot of singing, and I'd go into the woods and I'd be like, I'm not going to go hunting for the ginseng today. I'm just going to go. I know where this big patch of golden seal is. I'm going to go. I'm going to dig this golden seal. That's all I'm going to do. Run across the first sang plant. That was it. The rest of the day, that's all I was doing. You know, there was no golden seal. Golden seal didn't exist, you know?
Oh, yeah. I just like bloodroot and everything else.
Used to dig a lot of bloodroot.
Yep.
Yep. During the wintertime.
I dug quite a bit of it and planted it on my property.
Yeah.
Just to see how far it'd spread.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really truly do anything. I just enjoyed going out.
Yep.
Digging it, bring it home, replant it, and just to see what it'll do.
It requires you to track miles back into the woods most of the time. It doesn't grow beside the roads for sure, you know. And then I've ran into some people growing some stuff that you shouldn't walk up on.
Oh yeah,
way out there.
I know a few areas you're like, you don't want to go up there.
I've been shot at before because of that, walking into the wrong area.
That's one reason why I got out of law enforcement, because I stayed. It wasn't consecutive. It was It was off and on.
Yeah,
25 years of my life in law enforcement and security, and that was one thing between that and politicians, and it's just a complete teetotal utter. I got tired of those that I captured.
Yeah,
and took to jail for a legitimate reason.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of them beating me back to the patrol car.
Right.
I had to start turning them loose faster than I could catch them. And I was like, heck with this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've changed careers several times. And, but as far as right now, I still drive a tractor and trailer, but I do it for a company, and I stay mostly on the yard where I'm home every night.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I mean, it's getting so dangerous out there anymore. You don't know what you're going to run into. You don't know what kind of
what's going to run into you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's mostly humans what you have to watch for.
Mm-hmm.
Bigfoot doesn't bother me. What's on my bucket list to see is dog man. I've seen tracks.
Yeah,
and seen evidence where one's been. But as far as actually seeing the dog man itself, I've not seen that.
We got a place over by where we live, really close to his house, actually. It's called Coochie Booger.
Oh,
Coogee Booger, I guess. Coogee Booger. And Bigfoot tells from way back on there. A lot of paranormal stuff, but we was back there looking a few months back and actually found some pretty big canid tracks. I mean, they were big.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, that's amazing. You know, that's amazing. But I think we got a photo of them too, don't we?
Yeah, somewhere.
We do. Somewhere, yeah. But
that one great big one that we caught in East Tennessee last year.
Yeah.
We couldn't cast it because the weather was too nasty. It was raining one minute, snowing the next.
Oh no.
And the ground was damp. Even if you'd have took plaster of Paris or anything else.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have done it justice.
Yeah.
And even with no flash on the camera, there's much glare off the water.
Yeah.
Only thing you could do is chalk it up as a personal experience. You couldn't. It wasn't nothing that you could bring out of the woods and say, "Look what I've got.
Right.
This right here is it."
Yeah.
But we knew what it was. We knew from the way the water was coming back into the print.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't have been over 20 minutes behind it.
Right. Wow.
It was in front of us. So.
Wow.
And the other evidence we were finding, it appeared we're not going to swear that that's what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
but it appeared that the dog man and Bigfoot were working in unison.
That's one thing that Martin Groves talks about, about that he thinks maybe they work together in certain
In
ways.
some occasions, in some locations, I feel that they do.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, the reports and stories that we were getting and reading, they were at war with one another.
Hmm.
So
That's
I don't
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
At one point in time, Native Americans traded with the Bigfoot.
Yep. Yep.
They were basically not best friends, but they
Yep.
had a mutual respect.
Yep.
Between the land and the game and so forth.
Yep.
They knew where to go, where not to go.
Yep.
I don't know if it was Bigfoot that betrayed the Indians or the Indians betrayed Anyways, one tribe betrayed the other one.
Right.
And that's the reason why Bigfoot does not want to have,
anything to do
with anybody else.
I think
I know there's a story.
Yeah.
I know there's a story about, I'm trying to remember what tribe it was, but I don't remember exactly which tribe it was, but there was a story that they tell that they used to trade with Bigfoot all the time.
Right.
And when the Europeans first started coming over, Bigfoot came to them and said, "We'll continue to trade with you if you do not trade with these people.
Right.
They're not good people."
I think that's the way the story went.
Yeah, they're not good people. But if you start trading with them, then we're gone. We're gone. We will not have anything to do with any of you anymore. And then of course that happened, and they said, "See you," because it's funny, because in some instances in Native American tales, especially like Cherokee and stuff like that, you have Sukaloo and that a lot of these tales have dual meanings to them, because in one hand, they are protectors of the forest kind of creatures. So they keep you from over hunting and all kinds of stuff like that. In some cases, it's even if you don't have permission to hunt, then they will run you out, But then on the other hand, it's, these things don't like us. They're here. They still are women and children.
Oh, yeah.
And they're cannibals. They'll eat you.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got like these wild swings of what these things, are.
And then you got a few that if they've done something other to either embarrass or I guess besmirch the whole tribe, they will kick them out.
Right.
And usually the ones that gives the most problem is usually the ones that went rogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
when you get a creature like that, it's highly unpredictable
and don't have nothing to live for, really, right?
Exactly. I mean, if he's, can't find another tribe that'll take him in.
Yep.
Or
even another mate.
Yeah. Or not able to start his own tribe.
Yep.
Well, you take 2 buck deer. If they get in a fight and one whoops the other one, that one that got whooped is all of a sudden he's embarrassed. His emotions are shot, and the first thing he comes across, you might be, digging ginseng, you might be doing whatever, and get attacked by a deer.
Right.
He's not doing it because he wants to do it. He's doing that to make himself feel better.
Right. Well, I can beat this guy up.
He feels vindicated.
Right.
If he does something like that. We had a lady, I don't know if y'all know anything about it. It's called Galax. It's a floral green that grows wild in the woods. Sort of looks like an upside down heart shape. And at certain times of year, if a rain hits it just right, it kind of smells about like a skunk. They use it in floral arrangement. My generation pulled it for years on end.
Yeah.
And this lady, that's what she done to make extra money, put food on her table for her family. Well, she heard something other coming through the woods. She thought, what in the world is that? I mean, she was probably close to 60 at the time. I mean, she's done passed away now. So she turns around and looked. There's 6 points standing there, sweating, just like you poured a bucket of water over top of him. She thought, oh, God, he's been whooped. So she's side-eyeing him, trying to figure out what he's going to do. Well, he just looks at her and drops that head and attacks her.
Oh,
So he hooks his horns in her clothes, drags her through a laurel thicket,
oh,
skins her all over. I mean, it's like you took her out and just absolutely took a cane pole and beat the pudding out of her.
holy
Well, she
smoke!
finally gets off of him, finally reaches into her apron, gets her 38 pistol. I don't know if she shoots the deer, but the gun goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Deer turns her loose and he runs off. Well, when she gets home, her husband says, "What happened?" She told him. He said, "Yeah, that deer has gotten whooped in a fight,
Yeah,
and you're the first thing he came across."
yeah,
So he took his aggression out on you.
yes,
And it was, several weeks later before she got able to go back and pull more Galac. And I'm sure that happens with Bigfoot.
yeah. We've talked to some people before that talks about stuff like that. They even think that maybe sometimes, say in a family unit, when a male gets to a certain age, he kind of gets booted out of that family unit. Daddy says, "Okay, it's time to go,
Yep.
and go do your own thing." And that when that happens, he's that rogue element that's out doing whatever.
Has no idea what to expect,
Yep.
what to do,
And maybe sometimes that those aggressive ones that we hear about and stuff may be those because they're having to rely on themselves. They don't have a family unit to help them out, so they're having to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, so which is a pretty interesting thing to think about because
well, if you think about it, you take somebody that's decided to give the middle finger to the general population.
Yep.
Decided to go off grid.
Yep.
They're not, after a while, they don't want nobody around them.
Yep.
They don't want no outside interference.
Yep.
They've learned how to adapt.
Right.
Because humans have got two choices. You either adapt or you die.
That's it.
That's the only two choices that you basically got.
Yep.
That's the two choices that they've got. Each environment they encounter, they got to figure out how to deal with it, just like we would.
Yep.
And if they decide they don't want to have nothing to do,
yep,
they're not going to.
Yep. See ya.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can understand that for sure. Oh man, my ears are getting hot. I can hear you good though, so
well, that's good.
But I have to turn these off every once in a while. These.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Can't miss her. She's in a green hoodie right around the corner. Down at the NCI tent. May have something other that you might be interested in. We own a goat farm, and we got some goat milk soap down there you might be interested in.
What's a goat?
Well, I guarantee she'll put it.
No.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of chickens. We got someone watching them
I
right
had
now.
85 at one point in time in between. Oh,
yeah.
But she might have a few for sale. We're not talking to her. We got Botch, Alpine, Seinen. I don't have the screaming ones, but I think she's got some fainting goats that should be willing to sell. Now well, thing about goats is this: I don't care which breed you go with. Now the Forbes and the Kinkos and everything else might be a different story.
Yeah.
She knows more about it than I do, but I do know that on the milk line, you have to have two. Reason being, they're kind of like little kids. They don't have somebody to play with.
Mm-hmm.
They will grieve themselves to death.
Really?
Yeah. We had two little Billies, and one of them died. Well, he was just lost without his brother.
Really?
I told my wife, I said, you better watch that one. She said, there's nothing wrong with him. Said, he's fine. I said, he may be fine, But as far as everything else goes,
Let me see one of those bungee cords.
he's not fine.
I'm gonna get a bungee cord.
2 weeks to the day. I mean, there wasn't nothing wrong with him. He wasn't wormy. Didn't have pneumonia or anything else. I
Right.
mean, he's just healthy as a horse.
Yeah.
Because his brother died, he grieved himself to death because he wouldn't have nothing to do with the rest of them. He was that close to his brother.
Wow, that's crazy.
A bunch of cord in there.
Oh, did I keep them in the thing too?
How you doing, man?
See,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
guys back. Y'all all come up here. We'll get a big picture.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for your stories. Those are awesome. Got to get you on the show.
All right, so we're gonna get off here for a little bit. We'll come back in about, I don't know, a few minutes with another live third round. So we will see you in a few.
Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.